time to break down Ahsoka Episode 8. Welcome back. I just got finished watching the finale of Ahsoka, and it did not disappoint. I don't know that it was the greatest episode of the season, but it was very good. As far as my first reaction score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. There was plenty of action, which we all thought would happen. There was some intrigue mixed in, a little bit of open-endedness, if you will. Not too much of a cliffhanger, but a lot to talk about. So let's dive in. The episode starts off with Grand Admiral Thrawn preparing everything for him to go to the Eye of Sion and make the jump back to the galaxy. He has battle plans. He does not want to get beat by these Jedi again. He's very weary of them after they put him in exile, so he is ready for this fight. While he's preparing, we see Morgan Elsbeth has some magic done to her by these great mothers, and it's kind of creepy looking, but either way, they turn her into a full-blown witch, and she gets the Blade of Talzin. That was a cool scene, a little bit creepy for Star Wars, but it leads to some pretty cool things later. From there, we hop back to Ezra building a new lightsaber, and he's kind of arguing back and forth with Huyang, and he ends up learning that Huyang helped Kanan build his lightsaber, and so Ezra gets a piece that there was only 2 made of, and the other Kanan chose to make in his lightsaber. So that was a very full circle moment, and I think that was a very nice moment for Rebels fans to see that on screen. From there, a couple TIE fighters are attacking Ahsoka's ship. We see that it almost crashes onto the little turtle men, but Ahsoka and Ezra are able to keep it up while Sabine does some maneuvers to make the ship shoot into the TIE fighters, but the ship is crashed and it needs some repairs. Because of that, we see Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine riding the horse rats over to Thrawn's fortress. They end up in a battle with a bunch of stormtroopers that have volunteered to stay and prolong Ahsoka from showing up so Thrawn can make the jump. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra do make pretty quick work of these stormtroopers the first time. It turns out the Great Mothers are using their magic to resurrect these night troopers. It's kind of creepy. They get green eyes, they walk like zombies, and so Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra are having to fight these undead stormtroopers, which proves to be a lot for them. Eventually, they do make their way through by shutting doors and making it to where they are blocked off from attacking them, but then Morgan Elsbeth has to stay behind and distract Ahsoka longer so Thrawn can get away. So Thrawn essentially uses her as a pawn, even though she's the reason that he even gets to go back in the first place. So Ahsoka fights her. She sends Sabine and Ezra to go stop Thrawn. So while Ahsoka is fighting Morgan Elsbeth, Sabine and Ezra end up fighting these different types of troopers that Thrawn has that are apparently a lot stronger than just the normal night troopers. The biggest part of this battle is Sabine is trapped up against a pillar by one of these stormtroopers, and she uses the Force to pull the lightsaber to herself, and kind of like in The Last Jedi where Kylo Ren takes the saber and kills the Praetorian Guard, she uses the Force, grabs the saber, ignites it, and stabs it through this stormtrooper's head. So we finally see Sabine really using the Force here. While all this is going on, Thrawn's ship is pulling away, so Ezra Bridger has to make a jump to the ship with Sabine using the Force to push him to the ship. I thought that was a big leap for her abilities, but I suppose the Force is awakened in her and now she can do cool things like Force pushes and pulling lightsabers to herself. The plan though was for Sabine to push Ezra and him to pull her across, but Ahsoka is fighting Morgan Elsbeth at the same time, and that fight has came up to the platform that they're on, and Sabine stays to help Ahsoka. From there, Ahsoka makes pretty quick work of Morgan Elsbeth. Huyang shows up, they hop on the ship, they follow Thrawn, who is already out into the atmosphere, and he is getting ready to make the jump, but unfortunately, he makes the jump back to the galaxy with Sabine and Ahsoka watching, but Ezra is on his ship, so poor old Ezra, he does get to go home, just not with any of his friends. From there, we see Thrawn arriving at Dathomir with the Great Mothers and all of these caskets from the catacombs. One can only imagine what is going to happen here. I'm assuming these Night Sisters or Great Mothers are going to do some sort of resurrecting power, and I could see Dathomir becoming a big setting moving forward. I think our bad guys may be headquartered on Dathomir, and I think there's going to be some magic versus the Force going on in future Star Wars projects, which I'm excited to see. We then hop back to Peridia and get an update on everybody who is left behind. So Ahsoka and Sabine show back up to the little turtle people colony, and Ahsoka actually sees Morai there, which we have not seen yet this season, so that was nice to see the owl before this season ended. Shin Hati, who had ran away last time we saw her, she actually goes and raises her saber up to some of the raiders that are on Peridia, and apparently she's going to be leading them. Maybe she's going to have some group of her own and she's going to be their leader. I think we're going to get that story picked up a little later on as well, but the coolest part probably of this episode is Balin. He's still on the planet. He's out looking for whatever it is he's looking for, and he is on these huge like rock sculptures of the Mortis gods. We see the father and the son there, and I think as he looks out into the distance there's something with like a light coming out of the top of it. A lot of mystery on what this is, but the Mortis gods are in live action, and I think there's a lot of lore and backstory there. I do believe that Balin's skull probably gets recast unless they spend a lot of money to do like a deep fake over some other actor's face, because Ray Stevenson has passed away. But I don't think we can just be left there and that be it. There's going to be some exploring to this lore, and I'm excited to see that. Ezra Bridger does make it back. He lands on Hera's ship. He steals a ship from Thrawn's, and he's wearing a stormtrooper outfit, which is so Ezra. And he pulls in. All the New Republic have their guns drawn on him, but Chopper rolls up to greet him, takes his helmet off, and Ezra and Hera have their reunion. The episode ends in a very satisfying manner. It's nighttime back on Peridia in the turtle colony. Ahsoka and Sabine are sitting there talking, looking out over to the horizon. Eventually their conversation ends. Sabine thinks she sees something but just kind of walks off and dismisses it. Ahsoka turns away, but as Ahsoka is walking away, we see the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker watching over Ahsoka as she goes back to the colony. Very satisfying ending. I believe Ahsoka and Sabine are right where they need to be. It appears that Anakin Skywalker almost has that sense of approval there, and I think Ahsoka is going to do some training with Sabine, but I also believe that Anakin is going to be training Ahsoka a little bit, or at least being there to be that voice of wisdom that she needs, kind of like Luke and Obi-Wan. After Obi-Wan dies, Obi-Wan shows up here and there to guide Luke along. I think that's probably the relationship we're going to see with Anakin and Ahsoka going forward, and I hope we see that a lot more in projects in the future. All in all, this was a very fun season. I don't think I have one episode rated below an 8 on my scale of approval, which no one really cares about except me, but I greatly enjoyed Ahsoka. I think this is a great launching point into wherever Star Wars is taking us next with The Mandalorian, Skeleton Crew, and future seasons, hopefully, of Ahsoka. I think we're in good hands in this story. We explored a lot. There's a lot more to explore. I feel like this story has just begun. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about episode 8 in the comments. Let me know what you thought about season 1. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Wars content daily. And as always, may the Force be with you.